Hey everybody, welcome back. This is going to be a little bit of a difference today. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're at in the world, whatever time zone it's in. Please comment below, and do please comment below because YouTube likes it when you all comment. So they are my new partners and I would appreciate it if you would comment for them and just to let us know where y'all are from. So if you ever been a stripper, please comment below too and let us know. I have personally never been a stripper, but I have plenty of friends and a sister that was a stripper, and I meet people on the road that strip. I don't have any problems, condemnation or anything for people who do that. I pretty much admire people who can do that because I can't. So let's see if you got what it takes to be a stripper. Do you want to be a stripper? You have this desire to be a stripper? So let's talk about this today. We talk about careers here, and this could be a gig work too. I mean, this could be gig work or a career, if you want it to be a career. I know plenty of people who have done this mainly trying to get out of debt. I'm going to make my face lower here. There we go. I don't want to be. I'll put myself over here on the pole for a while. There we go. I never been on the pole. Your body has to be pretty awesome. I mean, I feel like I'm in pretty good shape, but not enough to get up there. And so we'll find out if it's for you or not. And maybe some of you have already done this and you can agree with some of these things. The things I'm telling you are things that I have heard from family, friends that have actually done this. And some of the reasons why they do it, mainly it's for money. Some of it could be for power, and this goes for men and women, by the way. I know it's usually generally a woman's field, and I got to tell you, I had a hard time finding pictures of men strippers to put up in here, but I wanted you to know it's for both. I've only met one male stripper that did this for a living. He actually dated my sister who was also stripping. So both of them that's how they met. They were both stripping. So this is what they tell me. This is not from my personal experience. So it can infuse you with immediate energy. And if you like having power over people's emotions, that can happen too. Usually the people in these audiences are in some kind of drinking environment. So the cons are, the girls tell me they don't like going around trying to get men to get lap dances, and there are some clubs like this. They have a lot of different places you can do stripping at. For example, in this picture, it's like a house party. I've been to them too, where they hire strippers. So if you want to have your own business doing this on the side and not go into a club, because there are lots of downsides to going into a club. So if you want to go into people's homes and, get paid, and this would be your little side business or your main business, whatever, if you can keep it up, because that's the thing, you got to be able to keep your body up. And with the COVID thing, the germs have become a factor, So I think a lot of this got stopped or cut off a little bit. A lot of these women are doing these. What I should have did was link some. Maybe I'll do that in the comments. They have a lot of websites where a lot of strippers especially from the COVID industry, are doing this online, and then people will pay to watch them strip online. And I have to find some websites that do that, but that's becoming pretty popular. And the thing about that is you can control your environment, and you can eliminate a lot of things, such as dealing with aggressive customers, dealing with idiot managers, or people in these clubs that are trying to take half your money after you're the one taking all your clothes off. Also, what I was told is a lot of the strippers will share their clothes, or they'll rent them instead of investing a lot into their costumes, because these costumes can be pretty expensive. So if you keep putting all your money into that, then you might not have any left. So what I was told, I met several different kind of strippers, and some of them take all their clothes off, and I mean not even a G-string, but usually those are kind that are on some kind of drugs, because, and I don't really necessarily promote that kind of thing, because I hate to see women giving up their bodies to some of these men completely like that for barely any money. But whatever, I mean, I get it. You got to survive. And I've done a whole video on using what God gives you to do what you got to do to survive, make money, get up out of the hole. And if this is one of the ways that you got to do it, men or women, and use your body that God's given you, then go and do it. But you also need to keep your mind in check, because you don't want to be falling. You're going to be surrounded by alcohol and drugs normally, and if you have a problem, this is a trigger for you. This would not be a good job for you. Also, if you cannot control yourself with that kind of thing, and you already know this, I already know I can't bring a bag of sugar stuff into the house because it triggers me for sugar. So it's the same kind of thing with the alcohol and drugs. If you have a problem and you know you cannot control yourself, you don't want to be working in that kind of environment. All right, do you have what it takes? Now, of course, your body is going to be the main thing here. You're going to need to be able to keep your body up. You're going to need to have self-esteem. If you have trouble with confidence and self-esteem, which is my problem, by the way, going up there and even in being in a bikini is tough for some of us. And I actually work out pretty hard every day or every other day, and I still do not have the self-confidence or the self-esteem to get up there and do that kind of thing. You got to be really mentally strong to be able to handle people talking about you, judging you, and every little thing that you do. And this includes your coworkers too, by the way. Realize the time it takes to put in. Now, just because you can dance and you got a good body doesn't mean you might necessarily know how to do this. Some people dance in like these chairs, which I got up here, which might be a little easier than a pole. But going up and down these poles, which I have practiced, and I also work out on a rope, is actually pretty tougher than it looks. These women make it look pretty easy, but it is not easy. And I think if you just saw that movie by J-Lo, she did like a whole little thing on how to become a stripper, and she worked with a lot of professional strippers. And she was showing how difficult it is to work on these poles. And that's not even including in heels, okay? I mean, you got to learn without the heels on. And then after you learn it, you got to learn how to do it with heels. And these women make it look super easy, but it is not. I'm just telling you from practicing, it is not easy. And you got to be pretty strong in your legs, because you got to be able to hold on. That's why I think maybe a lot of younger women might be a little easier for them, because as much as I hate to admit it, it is easier. Like your muscles are different at 20 than they are at 40 and 50. I see it in my CrossFit box all the time. The 20-year-olds come in there right away and can get some of these pull-ups that some of us have been working on for 4 or 5 years. So it's definitely different when you're younger. That's why when you're younger, you'll see more younger women doing it. And it's also more of a woman profession. I don't see as many male strippers doing it, but it could be a great side gig. Now, I have met some male strippers, but most of them do it as side gigs, like for these bachelorette parties and things like that. They'll hire them on the side. And all you got to do is move your body a little bit to some music, and there you go, guys. You can make some money. For us women, it's a little bit different. You got to be able to move around, and then, I guess the guys have to do the same thing. I don't know. If you're a stripper, please comment below and let us know, because I've never done this. I only know I have met people that have done it. So again, staying sober is important. If you have trouble with anything of this type, this would not be a good profession for you to be in. If you can control yourself with alcohol and drugs, this would be a great job for you to make on the side. or even go in a club. Now, when you do go in a club, just remember that you may have to pay some fees to some of these club members, and you might not also get the schedule you want. So some other ideas, if you want to be a stripper, is to do these little side gigs like I'm telling you. I don't know how you would advertise that, but you could do it. Advertise your business for bachelorette parties, bachelor parties, whatever kind of party. If they want to hire a stripper, go in there and make $200 or $300 in like an hour. You know, it's pretty quick. You don't have to put up with any bullshit from co-workers, club managers. You don't have to work when they say work. You don't have to wear what they want you to wear, because some of them have requirements on what you wear. Some of them also have requirements on whether you're allowed to touch people. Some of these clubs are pretty strict on touching rules, and some of them are not. Some of them, these clubs, that, you know, it depends on what type of club it is, because they have high-class clubs and then these low-class clubs. I've met all kinds of strippers from all these different clubs. Some of them don't care if they touch you. Some of them, the dancers will go right up to the men and they will give them 20 for a blow, and in the back room, you know, and that's pretty low at the bottom. Now, some of these clubs require you to take more of your clothes off. Some of them will let you dance in a bikini. So, you know, those are all things to keep in mind. You have to decide what you are comfortable in dealing with. Again, with the co-workers, you may make close friends, but this is with any job, by the way. You're always going to have haters. You're always going to have jealousy. And it doesn't matter what profession you're in. If you're actually going in there and working with co-workers, some people might get more favor and get better hours if you're going in a club. And if you're getting tired of all that shit, then just start your own business. I mean, seriously, just go online and do that thing, because it will eliminate a lot. You know, you can just make your own hours. People pay you $5, $10 for just looking at you in a bikini. I've met guys that do this on the streets. They'll come up to me and tell me. But, you know, the bad thing about doing it online is you got to make sure that they're blocking people from saving your stuff. Because I had one guy in the car talking to me about how he pays $5 or $10 for somebody just showing their self in a thong. And, but he actually had the picture and he showed me. And so my thinking is, you know, you got to be careful with that. If they're allowing people to download your stuff online with this new technology we have out now, where you can get people to pay for your subscriptions. And a lot of strippers have started doing this now because of COVID, and they couldn't go into the clubs. So they discovered a whole new stripping attitude, which might be even better, because if you do it at home, you don't necessarily have the drugs and alcohols around you. You don't have the aggressive men that you got to deal with. You might have to deal with perverts, but you're never going to see them, right? I mean, you're on the other end. So, you know, that might be the way to go in the future. You don't have to deal with the insults as much, even though they might be thinking that you're not going to have to deal with it. So, you also might need a license. You'll need to look into that in your state and see if you need a license. I never had anybody tell me they needed a license, but they've all been in clubs. So if you're working on your own, you might need a license. You need to make sure you check into that so you don't get a fine. This is talking about the outfits, and yeah, that's pretty common. And you might be able to rent some to save you some money. You don't need to be going crazy with clothes. Men really don't care. You could be in your bra and underwear, and most of them are pretty happy. You know, they're very visual creatures, and it don't take much for them to get excited, seriously. And men, you don't really need to do much either. All you got to do is show your abs, right? Your six-pack abs. All right, this is talking about the shoes. The shoes are important, but shoes are important in life. This is another reason I could not be a stripper, because I am not going to be wearing these kinds of shoes and messing up my feet all day long. I prefer being in my tenors, and I don't think that they're going to let you strip in a tennis shoes. So This is how I know that stripping is not for me, but it, whatever. Okay, this is talking about the club fees. So if you can pay the club fees, you might have to pay a club fee. Some of them don't. You might have to tip out your security guards, bartenders, servers. There are other kind of strippers too that I have met in my life on the road. I have met these strippers as high up as pretty high up, as almost as Cardi and Rose Amber. Those are two strippers that have made significant amount of money, and their mental stuff is together here. They're not really strung out on drugs. I don't see Cardi strung out on drugs, but she does have a fighter attitude where she's not going to take no shit. And the same with Rose. Now, I have met another lady who goes and does these twerking events, and she is living in a $500,000 home. So, I mean, and I don't know what else she does. I just met her in passing, doing my Ubering work. And she goes to these events and, puts on some, she also have had some plastic surgery, those butt implants in her butt. So that's another thing, if you start moving up and your competition's getting higher, you may have to start investing in some plastic surgery, right? Make your ass bigger. And if you're going to be a twerker and you're going to get paid that extreme amount of money to where you can do that. I don't know if she has another profession or she does that on the side. I didn't get into all that. We're just talking about it in her. And, I mean, that's what she does. So she made it work, and you can make some money. But like I said, you need to be mentally strong as well as your body needs to be strong, because people are going to start making fun of you, judging you negatively. Not everybody has a positive opinion of strippers. Newsflash, right? And you can make a lot of money, like the Rose Amber, Cardi B, and the other girl I was just talking about. But this does not come easily for everybody. If you can't handle rejection very well, and guys start turning you down, and you start losing your self-esteem based on this, and you also get tired of selling yourself, like at some of these clubs, you could try it virtually. If anybody tries it virtually, please let us know down in the comments. I don't know if YouTube is going to let you put your link down below or not. I don't know if they're going to cut it off. I personally am not going to cut it off if you put your link down below, because that's what we're talking about here, stripping. I don't want it on every single one of my videos, but, we're talking about stripping here. So if you are a dancer, you do private dancing, you're a stripper, and that's the way you do it virtually, and you have some, I might do another video on that later on if I get enough feedback on the virtual stripping. Might be a better thing for you if you have a hard time with rejection or whatever. If you have a hard time with the alcohol and drugs in these clubs, being around it, that would be another option. I don't know how much money you're going to make doing that, but if you keep raising your prices and you get enough people, you don't have to, you could do $5 or $10 just for standing there in your bra and underwear, not even having to move. Now, this is talking about the dogs and the aggressive men. Now, I don't know on the male side. I've never had any men tell me they have had like aggressive women, but maybe it happens. I don't know. It's a totally different world for the men and the women. I mean, it's just the testosterone. I'm probably not saying that right, but it's like the aggressive gene in the guys that they need to be your security guard. They need to protect you. They need to control you. So that's where all this is coming from. They see something they want and they want to control it. That's where all that aggressiveness is. And you have to be careful about this because some of these men get so aggressive and they want to start stalking you, and it could turn into dangerous. If anybody has any comments and has been in these situations and wants to share it in the comments, that would be awesome. All right, so this is just talking about the drug scene again. Now, a lot of people Your co-workers and stuff might be doing that. So it might not just be the whole the whole environment in the club them getting high, but your co-workers might be on it too. All right, this is the stalking thing I was just talking about, where you need to be careful. You need to be careful when you go out to your car. Sometimes you can make lifelong friends doing this stripping, your friends and your co-workers, you might become friends. So I'll try and find some links on the virtual stripping where you can sign up and do that. Now, if you're not doing it on your own platform, then you may have to pay them a fee to be on their platform. So maybe we can do another video on that later on. I don't want to turn this into a stripping web channel. This is just a career that a lot of people do, and it's not talked about that much, but it is out there, and a lot of people make money doing it as a side gig or whatever. I thank you all for watching. Subscribe to the channel, and please comment below if you have any comments on this. Appreciate you.